Hello and welcome to Brand X Reviews. In this one I'm going to be having a quick look at the two films, fairly recent films that were released in sort of mid-2013. We had Olympus Down and White House Has Fallen. Or is it the other way around? Yeah, sorry, it's White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. Easy to get the two confused because they are pretty much identical.
So I say these films are identical, let's just kind of break this down. Olympus Has Fallen, there's an attack on the White House by terrorists. Bad guys hack into the missile systems via a bunker connected to the White House and plan to blow stuff up. A lone Secret Service agent played by Gerard Butler takes on the bad guys, aided later by the President, played by Aaron Eckhart. Then we've got White House Down, totally different film. In that one there is an attack on the White House by terrorists. Bad guys hack into the missile systems via a bunker connected to the White House and plan to blow stuff up. A lone Secret Service agent played by Channing Tatum takes on the bad guys, later aided by the President, played by Jamie Foxx.
This isn't unheard of in Hollywood. Films coming out in close succession to each other that share very strikingly similar plot. Examples of which would be, there was The Prestige and The Illusionist, which came out in 2006. Very similar films, came out very close together. There would also be Dante's Peak and Volcano. Those are very similar films. And also Armageddon and Deep Impact. Very similar films, like I said, that all came out close together. And Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down came out in 2013, within a few months of each other. First film was Olympus Has Fallen. That came out, I believe, in sort of late spring, early summertime. And then we had White House Down, which came out in very late summertime, in September. I went to the cinema to see this one, so I didn't with this one. I saw this for the first time on video, so my saying that I prefer this one might be slightly biased just because I have better memories of seeing it in the cinema, and it was when I was on holiday as well, so it kind of, seeing this again kind of brings back happy memories, but I don't know, that's maybe tainted my view on why it's better, but I can be more specific than that. Now, Olympus Has Fallen, the action in this one I would say is better. It's a 15 certificate, whereas this one is a 12. This one is more of a family film. Within reason, obviously it's a 12. I say family, it's the kind of thing you could sit around with your grandma kind of thing, and probably the whole family would enjoy it, whereas this one is a bit more graphic. There's, well, basically the hero in this film goes around stabbing people in the head. You actually see it as well. There's none of that in this, really. I mean, people get shot, but it's kind of trimmed for that kind of thing. There'll be a shot, and the next thing you know, someone's lying on the floor. Whereas in this one, it's a bit more graphic. I mean, in this one, there's a bit where there's a female politician who just basically gets bludgeoned with pistol whipped, basically. There's all sorts of stuff like that. It's directed by, I can never pronounce his name, Antoine Fuqua. I mean, that's basically his name, anyway, you try and pronounce it. But he directed films like Shooter, which is a very good film, it's one of my favourite films with Mark Wahlberg, and also Training Day. So, that's the kind of film that you get. It kind of boasts Die Hard in the White House. I kind of disagree with that. This one is fairly two-dimensional. The bad guys in it are, again, fairly two-dimensional. There's nothing really about them other than that they are Korean. That that's all you really kind of know about them. There's no real depth to their character, whereas the bad guys in this one are a lot more three-dimensional, and it kind of really goes into why they're doing what they're doing, other than just like, we're the bad guys and we want to destroy the world and steal everyone's money kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, both films are kind of silly, but this one just kind of has the edge on that. But like I said, the action in this one is a bit more trimmed down. Now this one is directed by Roland Emmerich, who directed films like Independence Day and 2012, The Day After Tomorrow, and Godzilla as well. Not that I've seen that one. But you can definitely get that feel from this one as well. It's got that kind of, not end of the world, but that kind of big epic film feel to it. Whereas this one is more of a, like I said, I wouldn't say Die Hard, I'd say more Under Siege type film. The Steven Seagal film. In fact, I can really picture this film having come out in the 90s. It probably would have starred Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal, because it doesn't really I don't know, there weren't that many memorable bits in it, like say you had in Die Hard. That was more like this. This one, you know, there were cracking gags. It was, you know, it was inappropriate, I guess, for the situation if you want to talk in terms of realism. But this one was definitely more enjoyable from that point of view. So if either of these films would be close to Die Hard, I would say this one, really. Now, like I said, there are quite a few differences with these films in many ways, but the general plot of it, obviously, from, I assume you already know this going into watching my review, that these films are about an attack on the White House, there's a hostage situation, and there's kind of a crisis going on as well. But there are sort of negligible differences, like the president's black in this one, he's not in this one, so that's kind of how you would really remember, just little things like that. But again, the president in this one is played by Aaron Eckhart, who, I don't mind him, but he's done some pretty bad films. He was good in The Dark Knight, and that is a very good film, but he's been in some pretty rubbish films as well. Whereas this one, it's Jamie Foxx who plays the president, and he's pretty awesome too. So, like I said, I know it's kind of cheesy, not very realistic, but yeah, I thought this one was my favourite anyway. So, if I was going to recommend these films, I would. They're both good in their own right, but in my opinion, White House Down just has the angle on it, just because it's more enjoyable, and it's a little bit longer. A little bit, maybe 10 minutes longer. This one is 1 hour and 55, this is 2 hours and 5, so there's no major difference there either, but they do both feel like they could have been trimmed down. That's one other thing that I would say. I'd have been happier if these films had both been 90 to 100 minutes, not 2 hours really. But yeah, I would recommend them both, but if you're just going to watch one, not the other, I would go with Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down, because the titles of these films are very easy to forget. I say easy, even as I'm holding it in my hand. White House Down is the one that I recommend. And of course, if you're a girl as well, Channing Tatum. I've never seen a film with him in before, but I know a lot of girls that I know like this guy. In fact, when I went to the cinema to see it, there were a lot of these girls that were just kind of like, "Oh, it's Channing Tatum!" Ooh. So I'm assuming from a girl's point of view, you would probably prefer White House Down just for that reason. But then again, you girls are probably like Gerard Butler. He's the main guy in Olympus Has Fallen. And again, like I say, this film is more two-dimensional. Gerard Butler's character is fairly two-dimensional in this as well. Whereas in this one, the Channing Tatum character is a bit more, he's more likeable. You kind of feel like you know him a bit better than you do. The Gerard Butler character is very two-dimensional. So that's pretty much it anyway, that's my review. I don't know if Core, who you've seen in my other reviews, if he wants to do his own review of this. I know he disagrees with me on this, and that he thinks that Olympus Has Fallen, I got it right this time, he thinks Olympus Has Fallen was the better film. So if you want to add anything to this, Core, if you're watching, if you want to do your own video, I'll post comments on the YouTube channel. The website is brundexreviews.com, so if you want to go on there and debate this, whether you think one is better than the other, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm completely full of it, let me know anyway. Thank you very much for watching.